Everybody, Tim here for today's graphic novel review. This is kind of an interesting one. It's almost a part two to the DC animated movies. This time I am doing Justice League Gods and Monsters, the graphic novel. So they did the movie, and if you watch my review, it is probably my absolute favorite movie for the DC animated universe. Or animated movies, original movies, whatever you want to call them, putting them out. It's basically an Elseworlds, is what DC calls it. Like Marvel is a what if. So it's basically Elseworlds. And honestly, like I said, I think it's the best thing Bruce Timm has kind of put out as far as the movie goes. And because it's so interesting and it's so well done. They did a minor a TV series. It was like 3 episodes, but each episode's only like 6 minutes. And when this all first came out, there was a lot of talk about really continuing this franchise, like doing another movie, there was supposed to be a season 2, that was supposed to be 10 episodes, but it got shelved. And then, like I said, they put out this graphic novel. And honestly, like, I need an ongoing series. Now, I'm not going to lie. Compared to the movie, compared to the 3 episodes, this is a little bit below. It's a little bit subpar compared to the rest. But it's still such a fun read, and it's such interesting material because it's so out of the norm that I was just eating it up. Like, I absolutely thought it was great. There's a one-shot of all 3 characters, and then there's a 3-part series for the 3 of them together. The first one, all about Superman, is really well done. Just kind of talking about how when he fell and just being part of like these immigrant workers and kind of growing up with the customs, growing up learning that way of life. So, I mean, it's almost like Martha and Jonathan, where, I mean, they were supposed to be like a very poor family. They're a farmer family, whereas this is like even a step below that. And it's really kind of interesting just seeing his sister, like him always provoking her until she falls out of the tree and is paralyzed, just killing all of the racist people out there, and then saying fuck it and just going on his own little journey. Probably my favorite, go figure, is the Batman story, which honestly, they had so much potential with that one, and then they kind of swerved. Because basically it all kind of boils down to Joe Chill, who killed Bruce Wayne's parents. In this, he ends up getting murdered and is a zombie. And I was like, if they really wanted to, they could easily have turned Joe Chill zombie into the Joker. Like, his flesh could be, like, rotting, and that's why he looks so white, and, like, mold and stuff in his hair, that's why it's green. Like, they could have really kind of pushed that out there. But it just kind of swerves, and it's just like, it doesn't really go anywhere. And then Becca, or Wonder Woman for the third one, is kind of what sets up the 3-parter, where it's Herbie in the 60s with Guitar Joe and Dr. Psycho, the hippies on the commune. Turns out Dr. Psycho's experimenting on people and just doing all sorts of, like, what you think is acid, but it's all sorts of drugs and stuff, and then he escapes. And then when he does, like, Wonder Woman's basically like, these people need somebody to help defend them. And so she goes on her own journey, which leads us to Genesis, which is the 3-parter, 1, 2, and 3. And it's interesting for the most part. It's a lot of characters I'm actually not familiar with, where basically it turns out there's this new character, Jackson Albert, and the Forever People. Like, I know bits and pieces of them from other TV shows and stuff like that, like Young Justice and things, but I'm not super familiar with them. We see Superman and Batman meet for the first time. We see, Superman and Wonder Woman go and meet Albert. And it turns out that he's Dr. Psycho from Wonder Woman's solo story. And then it just goes through, like, all these different upgrades and people trying to do different stuff. And then we finally get to Imprex, how I think you say his name. Didn't know him. I've never actually even heard of the character. I had to look him up, and I was like, I still don't even know who you are. And so it's an interesting storyline about how these 3 are supposed to come together. But I wanted more. I needed a little bit more to really kind of tie it all out. And, I mean, basically, it's all just prequel to the movie. Because I bet if I go back and rewatch the movie now, I'll find, like, little Easter eggs. But I absolutely love this franchise. This, like, story of these what-if other characters. If you guys have seen the movie, let me know. I'd love to talk about it. Who else you would like to see? How you foresee these three continuing? If you've read the book, go ahead, let me know. Really kind of interested. Hopefully you guys like it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys next time.